because I didn't remember that last night. There's a lot of experts in our room tonight as I see you signing in, a lot of district people and a lot of people who have done and worked in Club Runner for sure. So if you have something to add, I'm open to that. Unmute yourself and jump right in. If you have a major question before we leave a particular topic and you want to ask that before the end, you're welcome to unmute yourself and do that too. There's no worries about that. If we get too loud with all your cats and dogs, then I'll ask you to mute yourself again. So what we're doing tonight is looking at the club secretary's role, and some of you I'm sure are either currently club secretaries or you're going to be next year. Those of you who are not, you're still going to hear this session and learn what a secretary does, and you will appreciate them all the more as we get through this, because you'll realize there's a lot to being secretary. In fact, at one point in the Learning Center, you're going to see it said that it's the most important job in the club, taking nothing away from our presidents at all, but the secretary has major roles that are important. So we're going to address that now. We have 2 hours set aside for this. I don't expect we're going to be here 2 hours. We're going to zoom through. You see what I did there? We're going to zoom through a lot of this because it's pretty elementary, and I think you've been there and done that, and we're going to move on. But when we get to the second part of the program, we're going to talk a little bit more about Club Runner, and want to make sure you realize that's applicable to clubs that take a subscription and clubs that do not. So we'll address that from both those standpoints at different points. So other than that, I guess we can begin with our Zooming. I hope you all, I'm a visual learner, so I have to see things. I have to read it and see it and to understand. And I'm that way about the technology stuff too. So that's why I ask that you have with you tonight, or have handy, your login information for Rotary International, for My Rotary there. And if you also have that for Club Runner, we'll use that later. But my idea was that you would all be on your computer on that platform, and we will talk through some of the steps on it. I'll show my screen and move to that. And then you don't have to show your screen. Please don't show your screen, but you can follow along and do the same thing. So I'm pulling mine up, and I hope you're going to nod and tell me that you see it. Amy, I think you have to give me share screen rights.
Did you request it?
Don't say it yet.
The host has disabled the screen sharing.
Okay, hold on. Try now.
Yes, I'm getting it now.
Is it doing it?
Yes, I've got it. Thank you.
There we go.
Okay, you should be seeing my screen now and still see little pictures on the side. You can still get to your chat if you want to chat with somebody while you're sitting here. That'd be fine.
Yep, yep.
But we're going to talk first of all about the Rotary Learning Center. Everybody have that information with you, or have you logged in before? You know that, or I'd say raise your hand, but I can't see everybody's faces to know if you're raising your hand. But we're going to log in. Rotary.org is the world's platform. Everybody can see those pages. When we log into My Rotary and we get our password, our login name, saying whether it's signed in up there, you've entered My Rotary. Okay. Can't tell if everybody's with me or not, so this is going to be a little awkward if I get going too far. Unmute yourself and yell at me. But we're going to talk about, first of all, the Learning Center. The Learning Center, you can enter here and go directly to the Learning Center, but I want to look first of all that we talk a little bit about roles. And over here, you can, a new member has access. We're going to go to the club roles list and look at this just a moment. So this is RI's list to kind of job descriptions, if you will, for each of these. One is president, of course, treasurer, and then secretary. If you'll click on that, we're going to go directly to secretary page. So when you look at this and you're incoming club secretary, it says what you do, and it looks like 1, 2, 3 things. Not too bad. This won't be too bad, but it's a little more involved than that. Maintaining the membership records is one of the first jobs, and that, of course, is where our dues invoices are generated through RI for international dues twice a year. So that's high priority up here on their list, and that's what we need to do. You'll maintain minutes of the club, the board, and the meeting minutes, committee meetings. Maybe not all the committee meetings, but your club and your board for sure. And then you will work with the incoming secretary, who's going to be either following you or in front of you right now, to ensure that there's a smooth transition between those. So what does it say here is the first way to prepare is to take an online course that's designed for us in the Learning Center. Attend a district training assembly, which you're doing right now, and you're going to work with your club outgoing secretary if you're an incoming person. If you're outgoing, please afford them the opportunity to learn from you and share your knowledge with them. They need that very much. Okay, so we're going to go back to, one step. And we're going back to the home page, and we're going to go to the Learning Center right here.
That's the RI Learning Center?
Yes, this is Rotary International
Okay.
Learning Center.
Got it, got it.
Mine's being slow tonight. You're probably already there. Mine is slow. Okay, so I'm sure you found this already. Learning Center in any language you want and any topic that you want. It's a fabulous, fabulous tool that they've provided. You know, we used to order the catalogs, not big, but the booklets for each officer, and it came in bound thing, and it was very nice, but you had to order and reorder, and there's a cost involved. So this is International's way of cutting costs, saving that printing, postage, everything else involved. So it is wonderful, because you can, if you have your eye on one day becoming a different officer or planning ahead to even a district position, you can find tools here that will help you no matter what. We're of course going to look at Rotary courses in English. Thank you very much. And I have to get over here where I can get to my arrow, and you just scroll for the topic that you're looking for. You scroll across. We're going to start with Club Secretary Basics tonight. Now, mine's going to look a little different than yours if you're following along on your computer, because I've completed this course. I've done the modules, if you will, and it's going to show that. So yours is going to look slightly different, but I wanted you to go to it, and I don't know why it's taking so long. Maybe because I have two of them open. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to go back to the beginning of this one. If you've opened that, it probably looks something like this to you. It has the different modules listed there. And I'm sorry, I've got to move all these pictures around so I can see, so I can get to my scroll over here. Anyway, this tells you all kinds of things. You can look at your progress up here. You can see that it's supposed to take 4 hours and 15 minutes to complete it. I don't know what the 6 hour and 55 is, but it's listed as 4 hours and 15 minutes to complete the whole course. So we're not going to do that tonight, obviously, but I want to show you some of them, and I want to talk a little bit about some of each of those when we're talking about the role of the club secretary. And I just want to add one other thing. When I first did this course, there were, I don't know, 7 or 8 of these modules. When I came back to start preparing for tonight, they had added at least two new segments. This protecting personal data and preventing and addressing harassment were both new modules for me just last week. I don't know when they came on. I probably got an email about it. I don't know, but I had not seen them before. So my point there is things change, things are updated, and they're very good about putting new updates on. So you might want to come back and check mid-year and see if something new has happened.
Jackie, can I say something here?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
amazing all the things they're adding to the Learning Center. Every day there's new things, and there's a whole lot of new things about virtual meetings and all kinds of things related to that. But on every topic, they're just constantly adding, and so it's really good for people to just check back. It's always changing. And can I just really quick say a shout out to all the people in our district who have taken courses. I get a report every week of how many people are taking courses, and it's awesome. You guys are really, really getting into it, and I'm just so pleased. So I'll turn myself off now. Good night.
Hey, Jackie, I would just support that by saying the Get Ready Club Secretary and the Club Administration Club Secretary, those are the essentials.
You're right. Let's look at the first one you just mentioned, this Get Ready Club Secretary. Now again, mine looks different because look, I won a trophy. I did this section and won a trophy for it, but you'll want to look at it. There's a message there from the current RI president, and then there's a Get Ready section that we want to click on and open it. So once you've done these, you can go back if you need to use it. It's a perfect reference is my point. You don't have to print out all this information. You don't have to find where you put it down, where'd you drop it. You have this constantly there and ready for you. So don't print it. Keep it as a reference. Tag it. Bookmark the page, whatever you want to do, that will save it for you and you'll have it. I don't know why mine's acting silly tonight. Is anybody else getting that?
Not yet. There we go.
Okay, lesson learned. You can only have one page open. Shut it down. Okay, so what you'll find when you start going through these is there are different formats within the package. Some of them have an online video kind of tool. Some have little question and answers and whatever. But you'll find it interesting. It'll keep your attention as you go through there. So you wouldn't be here if you hadn't already created a My Rotary account. So you have done that. And this points to other things that you can do here. It just, as you read through it, we're not going to go through these step by step, but I want you to see that it's here. And some pertinent information we're going to point out. So manage and update club data is one that we're going to talk about in the next module, but let's go to it right while we're here. think it's going to take me where I wanted to do, but update membership data, learn how to add, edit, and remove member records. This is the key. As James said, this is a very important responsibility of the secretary. You must keep the records up to date at Rotary International in order for your invoice to be up to date when it's time for them to do that on January 1 and July 1. You want to use Rotary Club Central, and we're not going to go into that tonight because that's part of Doris Lockheed's program next week, I believe it is. But we will, you need to know how to use Rotary Club Central so you can enter and update your goals throughout the year. Anytime you need to, there's the official directory that you can search. When you get that phone call, who's president of a club, wherever, you can look it up and find them. Of course, managed membership leads is very important, and that was part of Bunny's program in the next couple of days. You'll want to sign up to attend that one to learn about membership leads. And then we're talking about district training. What we're doing tonight, some good questions that you might want to sit down with your club president and other officers. I hope you'll have a board orientation or a board meeting of some kind where you can talk about some of the interaction. How will you work with the club treasurer? How will you work with the club president? What does he or she want you to do in the year? How do you want to have minutes handled, etc.? And then what administrative duties can you streamline, or can you involve other people in helping you take minutes or take the membership role, take the role at meetings or what have you. You'll want to use some help on that. So I'm going to, there's an X under those pictures. Here we go.
Hey, Ted, what's the name of your cat?
Jackie,
Okay, so-
there's a question in the chat box.
Thank you. I can't see it. Just a minute.
The question is, what's the difference between a secretary and an executive secretary?
Well, that would be for your club to describe and delineate, I suppose. I would assume the executive secretary has more authority and more responsibility, but I can't tell you within the same club if you have both of those positions. That would be decided by the club.
The Rotary Club
Don
of
Fulkin?
Galveston, the Rotary Club of Galveston has the finest executive secretary in the nation. And he's a member of this virtual meeting tonight, Uli Budelman.
Yes,
So-
he is.
I've been the executive club secretary for 20 years for Texas City. So I'm paid, so that could be a difference. There is a club secretary in our club that is a Rotarian, and I'm a non-Rotarian, and I'm classified, or my title is executive secretary, and they pay me a salary
And the two of you have different responsibilities, I'm sure.
probably. So I do the secretary and the treasurer's. I do all the duties for those two positions.
So you have a secretary in name to,
We have a club secretary who's an officer of the club, and a club treasurer, and they are the board. They're on the board. So I'm the employee. I'm the executive secretary, and I take all the minutes at the board meetings, but I don't have a vote at the board meetings. That's all for our officers and board members.
That's like Uli. Uli can fill you in, or Ruth can. That's just like Dawn. Yeah.
Jackie, we have a question.
yes.
Marty says, for some reason I see secretary basics, but not get ready club secretary course. For some reason I see secretary basics, but not get ready club secretary.
I think This is Amy. That the course that Marty's referring to, that Get Ready, is a chapter within the Club Secretary Basics course.
Ah, right.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Jackie, if I may clarify, for the Rotary Club of Galveston, our executive secretary, Uli, handles all of our data entry, data management, all of the financials. Our recording secretary handles all of our minutes.
Perfect. Works for you, Uli, huh?
Well, you say everything on my behalf, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Did we get from basics to the I'm sorry, who asked that question? Did we get from basics to the next one?
Yes, I found it.
Okay.
I didn't realize that I had to click on it to get in and see that you were into the chapters. So I'm
Okay.
good. I found it. Thank you.
We're into this list of chapters now, and this is, I call them modules, but chapters would be another good way to say it. And those are the ones I was talking about. There's new ones added, and Becky said that too, about new topics in all the manuals probably. So you'll want to keep up with that. We looked a little bit at Get Ready. Let's look at club administration. Okay. Are you with me?
I am.
My course is loading. Managing membership information. So we know now that there are different classifications, different types of members. Some clubs have a corporate member, they have associate members. You either report to International as an active or an honorary member. They don't keep up with all the various titles and names that we give our various members, except for the two, active and honorary. So when you enter a member, that's the information that will be asked. Updating the members list, and we said this already, the responsibility of the secretary is keeping your club members list up to date. You must, I would suggest doing that as changes happen, but at least make sure you're keeping a list so that at the towards the end of June, towards the end of December, you go in and enter all those changes with International. But if someone has changed their membership or canceled their membership early in the billing period, you will still be paying dues for them, but it's best to go ahead and take them off the rolls as early as you can, so they stop receiving the magazine and all the communication that comes out from Rotary National. But for sure, for the billing cycle, you want to make sure you're up to date by June 30th and December 31st. Adding new members activates their subscription to the magazine, and one of the new rulings in the last Council of Legislation, I believe, or maybe the second one, was if more than one Rotarian lives at an address, they can subscribe jointly to the official magazine. And you know, of course, that anybody can now get the magazine electronically. They need to go into their My Rotary and change that on their profile. Okay, so there are 3 ways you can report your member data to Rotary, and this was really a surprise to me, I'll tell you, because you can do it through your My Rotary account here. You can change people in your club if you're an authorized person to do that, through the local club management system, which would be, in our case, Club Runner. There's other management systems, there's DAC-DB and membership clicks and whatever, but we are, as a district, we use Club Runner. And then I didn't realize we could still file a paper form if we wanted to do that on membership data. So that's a good one to know. So every once in a while, you'll get a notice from ORI. If you're listed as the club secretary, you'll get a notice from them saying that emails that they have sent or even a Rotarian magazine that they mailed has bounced back to them and they have a wrong address, and they'll notify you after that happens, I think more than one time, so that you have an opportunity to realize your records are not up to date and to get with that member and find out their new address, their new email address, or what have you. So you're going to sign into the account, and we'll look at that in a little bit, and you'll make those changes. You can add a new member, you can edit a member, or you can remove members through Rotary.org through your My Rotary account if you're listed as one of the officers in the account. You can also do it through Club Runner, and we'll talk about that later, so save that thought. Transfers and relocations. We just had a member who left the club at the end of, what month is this? May, at the end of April. And, you know, we do a relocation for them. You take them off your rolls and you can do a relocation form for them so that they can then join a new club where they've moved. And that's exactly what we did for this gentleman. And he's, I think, already been visiting some clubs. And then removing a member. You should contact the member who has to pay dues, or you or the treasurer, y'all need to work that out, who's responsible for doing that, and see that you collect dues or take them off your rolls. Okay, and the rest of this is bylaws and lectures at district conference and the Rotary National Delegate. They're there for you to read, but we're not going to go over that today. We're going to back out of that. I'm going to go back to our module list. And we're going to go to My Rotary Club Administration. Is everybody with me?
You bet.
Okay, this was a module that James was just referring to. It's very important because look, it shows you some of the really important hands-on or electronic transmissions that you can do. I'm sorry. Okay, how to update your club data. And you know, it wasn't until I was looking at this that I realized we're all on temporary meeting sites, and I bet none of us reported it to RI at this point. But through this whole section on club administration, there are diagrams just like this on each of these important topics, and we're not going to go through them again one by one, but I'm pointing them out to you because I want you to see how simple. I mean, it tells you step by step. You can't miss the numbers, you can't miss the arrows. It's there. If you print it out, it looks just the same, all in color with the red and the blue, and it tells you every little detail about what you need to do. So if your club makes changes, as we all can do now, we're meeting just twice a month, and on the other month we're doing this, or where we're meeting, or what have you. All of that can be added and changed in here. Your permanent mailing address, invoice preference. Would you like to get your invoice by email instead of print mail, which I have personally found to be very nice. You might think about that. And of course, you remember at the end to save your changes, and you've done a very important task in a matter of a few minutes in 4 easy steps. So I'm going to suggest that that's one that you want to look at for sure.
Jackie, we have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
It actually goes back to, I think, the section you were doing right before this regarding terminating members.
Mm-hmm.
The question says, when you terminate a member in My Rotary, does it follow that the Club Runner will then terminate the member, or do you need to actually go back into Club Runner and terminate them there as well?
It should synchronize back and forth, either one of those.
Oh, yeah.
If I were you, I would suggest
Checking it out.
I would suggest double checking for sure that it does happen, but it should populate or unpopulate itself back and forth. And you can check through, well, when we get to Club Run, I'll show you how you can check on all of that by reconciling your accounts with RI.
Thank you.
Okay, how to pay the club invoices, they're easy. Did y'all know you could pay that with credit card and earn cash back or airline miles or whatever you need to do if you have a club credit card?
That's
Pay
great.
it online. It's done, you know, it's done immediately, and they're happy to get their money quickly, and you don't have to worry about cutting a check. Okay, we've got to make sure we enter and take care of club officers being entered in the RI website. There are only the people who are listed as officers can make those changes. That would be the president, the foundation chair, the secretary, the treasurer, and remind me, the membership chair. Those are the only people who have access on this website to make changes. But club administration is where you're going to go on your on the main page where it says manage. You remember we clicked on learning and reference to get to here, but the one over from that is manage club administration, and it pulls up a page that looks just like this. Club administration. I had it open. I don't know if I kept it there for you to show y'all, but you've probably seen it before. But that's where you can view your club invoice. The second block there, club and member data, update member data, add, edit, or remove club officers is the second block there. And it takes you to the page where you simply enter the name. You know, you will scroll and find the member in your membership roles, and you'll click on their name. That's as simple as it is. And you'll assign the club membership chair. Do you see how this is working? You'll pick the person from their roles, add to that, boom, they're in there, and it's done. I don't know, I meant to ask District Governor-elect Mason if all the clubs have done officers for next year or not. Do you know off the top of your head, Becky?
Some have not. So we still need to get those in there. And I just put a note in the chat for everybody, but the clubs in the district really rely on club runner communication. You know, whenever we send an email to everyone about district events and things coming up, that's how we do it. And it's just critical that every club, at least every year, make sure that the contact information in Club Runner is current, because when people change jobs, sometimes their email address changes, you know, things change all the time. And so your help, the secretary's help in making sure that all of your members keep that information updated is just critical. That's how we get in touch with people, is through Club Runner. And it's really a little disturbing when you think about how many people's contact information is not current, and we're sending stuff and they're not getting it. So we really, really need your help on that.
Here's what I've found. Club Runner is not accepting the new roster until June 1. I've tried to enter it, and of course they're on COVID at home work, and so I'm not sure we can submit our new club members for a few more days.
Really?
Well, that's what I found.
So you're putting it in, but it's not showing up? Is that what you're saying?
Put it in through Club Runner. Now, I have not tried it through RI, but Club Runner will not accept it until June 1.
Wow.
I don't
Okay.
think that's true.
An officer, you're saying, James, not a new member?
No, not new members. I'm talking about our new roster of officers for 2020, 2021.
And what club are you in?
Nacogdoches,
Nacogdoches.
who, by the way, has the best secretary in the district, regardless of what's been said.
I've helped several clubs walk through this and it's worked for them. So there must be some other problem.
I'll look into it.
Thank
We
you.
get
That
to-
would be good.
Sometimes there's a little, James, sometimes there's a little thing up at the top where you have to go to the next year. There's a little, and it's not necessarily that obvious
Okay.
that you click to the next year.
We'll look at that when we get to Club Runner, okay?
All right.
I lost my train here. We were talking about officers, and I believe we finished this and everybody understands how to do it. We just have clubs that need to get online and do it, is what I'm hearing. So maybe Becky, if you can put a list of those people together, we can see if they were not here tonight. We can do that. We can talk to them.
So the ones that we don't have the incoming officers, is that what you're saying?
Officers, right,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll check on that. Thank you.
They may just be having trouble and I can call and see if they need help.
Okay.
And there's an easy report we can pull up that'll give us that information just like that.
Oh, okay.
Good. I don't think I have access to that, so I'm relying on one of y'all. Okay, how to add a member. Now, this is probably the most used of all of these because you're going to do officers one time, but you're going to add members all year long and repeatedly, we hope. This too is interfaced with Club Runner. So if you're a subscriber and you enter your member in, well, even if you're not a subscriber, enter your member in Club Runner, it should feed up to Rotary International or vice versa. I always suggest one thing in particular. If the member that you're entering was a Rotarian somewhere in the world, or even if they haven't told you they were, but you want to make sure, it would be best to enter that member in international's roles first, because through it you can do a search. You can search for the member by name and by what country. And so it's a very broad database that lets you search and say this member, whatever. And if there was a member by the same name who was a Rotarian somewhere, or if there were multiple people by the same name, it'll list them at the bottom of this screenshot. I'm not sure it's going to show me on this handout, but you'll see a list at the bottom, and it will tell you where that person lived or what club, and so you can identify that as that person and grab from it the membership ID number. Then that member is entered into international roles. It feeds to your Club Runner, and it feeds the same membership ID number, so no one loses their longevity or their tenure with Rotary. They retain that same number whether they've moved from Michigan to Texas or wherever. So I suggest, if there's any question in your mind that they were Rotarian before, that you search and enter them first in the international database and then let it feed to yours. Before you can log into Club Runner to go check, it's going to be transferred to Club Runner and with the membership ID, and it will already be fed there for you. No question, and you've got the right person. You have to then update their data because they certainly would have a new address and probably new email and new phone, new everything. So you would enter all of that as a new member, but you have the basis of their important tenure, their partner membership, length of service, etc., that you can trust is added properly. So this tells you the step-by-step on adding a new member, and it's a little bit longer. You have 6 steps on this one, but it's simple. 1, 2, 3, click on this, enter the information, click submit, and you've done it. I'm sure you've all done it a million times, but for the new secretaries there, this is where you begin. Any questions on that?
Way to go, Jackie.
And now I want to go to how to remove a member. There's another module on that one. How to put them in and how to take them out. Step by step, and we have 4 steps on this one. You're going to click on that edit and remove members. That is where you're going to start again. You're going to find the member's name on your roles. The active roles at International looks like this. It has the buttons you use here to make changes, but it starts with the member ID, last name, first name, when they were admitted to your club, and what type of member they are. And so you will say that you want to terminate this member, and then it gives you a list of drop down of reasons why, termination reasons. It'll fill in the member's name and then drive you to the drop down menus for the reason and what termination date. Again, you want to make sure you're terminating before the next invoices are added or calculated for you. And that would be December 31 and June the 30th. And it will tell you then the member has been terminated successfully. I don't know if those 2 words go together, terminated successfully, but it might work. And then you just okay, and the member is removed from your roles. And that too, I think, rolls over to Club Runner, and they're terminated there as well. Interestingly enough, in Club Runner and in this site, the reasons for termination, there's some differences. So you may find a different list on both of those, but you'll pick the one that's closest to apply. Okay, and how to edit a member making the changes. You know, it's a constant thing with a club of any size at all. It's constant that somebody has moved, change phone, change email. It's hard to keep up with the number of changes that happen in a week's time, but you'll get notice of those, and if you change them as you go, you'll be better off, and the member will stay in touch closer that way. Questions?
This part's very important in the Club Runner app.
In the Club Runner app?
Yeah, a lot of our younger members keep up with their friends through the Club Runner app, and it's good to know their new contact information.
Yes, we'll talk about that app some when we get to Club Runner 2. So the other things here, I'd like for you to read and earn your certificates and earn your trophy and all those things too. If you read through all these and complete the little test, sometimes there's a test at the end, and you have to make sure you didn't skip through something and not get it. And,
Jackie, we got a question.
Yes.
I'm
sorry, I can't see the questions.
What is the best way to change an active member to senior active or rule of 85? This comes from Sandra.
That's not done at Rotary International, at my Rotary at all. Those things at International, they're either going to be an active member or they're going to be an honorary member.
Okay.
So you wouldn't change them.
So you would make them an honorary member at your club level?
No.
Let her finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It depends. It's going to depend on your definitions of all those 2 standings and what you relate that to in your club. So if they're still a dues paying person, in our club, rule of 85 means they're still, they're released from attendance responsibilities if we even kept up with that anymore. But they still pay dues and they still take part. It's going to depend on your definition. Who do you want to pay dues on is the question to ask for Rotary International. If you don't want to pay dues on a person, then you're going to be changing them to an honorary status. You still pay for their the Rotarian magazine. They still, I think, charge you insurance, all the liability fees and what have you at International for your honorary members. I'm not sure about the insurance part, but I know they're charged for the Rotarian magazine. But if they're not paying dues to your club, then you certainly don't want to be paying international dues for them. So those definitions are separate and apart. When you're entering a new member, you won't see Rule of 85, or you won't see special titles, associate members, corporate members, whatever. Okay, any more questions on that? Are y'all ready to look at Club Runner a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. We would love to hear about Club Runner.
I know you would. I know you would. I've been waiting for it. Okay, Club Runner. If you have a login and you want to log in to your Club Runner, then you're gonna do that through the login. It comes up with the screen like that. All of you are familiar with Club Runner, I'm sure.
You bet.
This is the front page. This is what the world sees when they look for you on your website. This area, the member area, is the back door. It's your members' access to your data and their Club Runner. My Club Runner belongs to the individual member. This is the Beaumont Club, and of course I have full rights to it, so everything is blue on mine, but yours may look different when you're looking at it. You may see some things are grayed out. All of your Club Runner would be blue up here. Some of the rest of it would be grayed out for you, but this is our everything once we're in Club Runner. Getting the little little screen share thing. Let me try and move that. So when we're talking about adding a member here or making membership changes, you're going to go to your active member list and bring up your members. And I'm showing you all of our situation at Rotary. As you see what happens when a member's added, access level 70 is what everybody is automatically assigned to. If you want to change someone, they're going to be an officer, they're going to need access to this, that, or the other, then you would go in and you would change their access level, and it would show as a different level. I'll just scroll past myself. I have a level 30. If you need to know what those access rights numbers mean, how to set up a member's access rights is over here. And there's a link from the main page too, but it shows you what those things mean. Site administrator is a 30, a president a 40, a club exec is a 50, and so on. And so it gives them rights to do things and change things on the website. Just like we have at the district level, for those that are district officers, you should have full rights for the area that you're responsible for. So we changed that accordingly. But when you automatically add a new member, and I'm going to pretend like I'm adding one tonight, then it's going to automatically do a 70. Okay, so Club Runner, you have two sets of menus, I call it sometimes. The blue are the main tabs, and the sub tabs are down here. So if I want to go to membership, there's another way to look at member designations too. You can select and change. Sorry, I'm trying to get to my screen and pictures are all over here. So when I want to add a new member, there's a gold.
There it is.
Let me move it over, move pictures around so I can see y'all. Okay, so this is the add new member screen. This is the basic information that will, if you're starting and doing in Club Runner and want it to integrate to Rotary International, you're going to start with this screen and you're going to add the new member, first name, middle name, last name, special demographics. Was they're active, and as you'll see here, active and honorary. You can't have a satellite and a corporate now. That was changed not too long ago.
We use that satellite a lot.
It's because you're adding a lot of members in your satellite club, right?
Some, not, I wouldn't say a lot, but some. That's their preference.
Okay, so the date that they join the club is an important date. And then you're going to enter one of two things, their home or their work, and you can choose whichever one is their predominant. They want to have home or work, basic information again, or they a transferring member. And this is where, if you know their Rotary number, if they come to you with a transfer form or information, you can type in their member number there. Of course, you have to do yes so you can get access to that square. Their former club name, what district, if you know that. Then their email usually populates itself here. Login name. You can set up a dummy. What we do is set up a dummy login name and temporary password. And when we have this on, report this new member to Rotary International, then it's going to populate up to Rotary International, and they will send them a welcome letter too and give them access. So do not report this new member. If I was putting in a play one tonight, a test one, I would say do not report it so I can delete that same person when we close down the meeting tonight. But that's there for that information. So when you hit add member, then it will go to set up the main Club Runner page that has more information on each member. That looks like the first ones that we were looking at. Let's go back to that. So it will automatically populate the basic information into the main club membership page. And it's the basic information, the home address, the street address for mail. And then there's the place where you're going to enter their title, who they work for, business address, et cetera, et cetera. And you'll add that and you'll save it. And then this is where I'm talking about before you can enter the first page, just about, the membership number will populate itself from Rotary International roles. If you put them there first, then it's going to populate there, and you'll have their number to put on badges or whatever however you keep membership numbers safe in your place. Then the date joined, et cetera, populates itself, and attendance. Now, attendance is another issue that we need to talk about. And I guess I need to ask District Governor-elect that again, another question, and that is about attendance. Some clubs don't take attendance any longer. They don't worry about it. Some clubs do. Is it something we want the district still wants us to keep doing, or is that up to the club? She might have stepped away from her computer. Becky? We still enter attendance. I'm going to go on with it. And I don't know, she talked at one point about it not being something that you have to report. Most of you take attendance, I know, and you still keep it for those people who still work for perfect attendance. That's what we do. We keep up with it and we record it and we recognize it for those that achieve perfect attendance. We don't keep up with attendance. We don't worry about numbers. We don't put people out of the club for poor attendance or what have you. And as you can see, Zoom meetings haven't been great for us. We've had a good number of people, but they haven't been great overall. So our attendance there is not there, but it does report here, and then this interfaces with the district club runner site, so that a district governor or any district executives can go in and look at a club's attendance for the last year or the previous year or what have you. I think it's good information, but I'm not a district governor, so I can't tell you that that's something you do or don't have to do. But
Well, in Nacogdoches, we keep attendance because that's what drives our revenue.
you're talking about because of meals.
Yeah.
Are your dues included in your meals fees
Oh,
included in your dues?
The dues are charged regardless. The meals are charged if you attend, if you're 85 plus, and they're charged for everybody regardless.
Jackie, from our discussions at PETS over the last few years, it truly is a club decision about whether you keep record attendance or not. But you know, some clubs don't keep it at all, and then others of us see that there is a real need for it for many reasons.
So I hear from that the district probably would like us to still be taking it and reporting it and having it on the site in the event that it's needed.
Right.
Then we will do that. So you will close out your meetings after you have entered the attendance. It automatically populates into a statistic chart, and that feeds to the district's Club Runner website. And so the district's executives have access to look at that. Questions on attendance? Okay, we were talking with James about executives and directors for the next year. This is where we think maybe the issue is, James, for you is this, it opens in the current year, but you could also look at previous year, or you can enter for next year by clicking up there. And then if you tell it carry, and everyone needs to be doing this, carry over officers for next year. And then make sure you're in next year, 2021. And so you will be on that page and you can enter, these will populate over. If you click that button, carry over to next year, they'll populate from the previous year. So you'll have all those. And then you can go in here and you can add a member. So I saved one to do for you all. vice president of our club is going to be Diane Bass. And it's a simple matter of save. And she's populated into next year, 2021, vice president, and she's in there. If you end up changing somebody, you can edit, you can clear her, and you can add someone else. Secretary for next year, I don't know if he signed on tonight, is Jay Wilson. So, and that's how you enter all your executives for next year, your officers, your directors, all the club. All the board members are listed. We do it by term of office. You can list them anyway. Those are your titles and how you want to put them there.
I've noticed that Club Runner allows for all the board members, but RI does not.
That's correct. They don't even allow, they don't allow for all the officers that you may have. We
That's
have
right.
several officers that we consider part of our board executive group and sorted norms and whatever.
But that's very useful to our members when we put out the newsletter or put it on the website. You know, they can see who the leadership is.
That's true. And you probably want to have it there. We have it on our homepage of the
yeah.
website. So we keep it there so everybody, they can just click on a name. If they need to send an email, it's an automatic email link. And yeah, if they want to file a complaint about something.
There you go. You're very nice. They can file a complaint with their favorite director.
That's true. You can. So that's how you need to enter your officers into Club Runner. And this is what Becky was saying, very important for the district incoming group to be able to pull up, not current year, where we are right now, but who your next year people will be filling in all these positions.
Got it.
Jackie, this
Yes.
is a question I get quite often, and you may have already said it, but when they enter their officers here, it will propagate to Rotary International.
No, it does not.
No, that's a question that gets
It does
asked.
not. Right. To my knowledge, unless that's been a recent change, it does not populate over to international. You have to go there and do the same thing there. And they ask for president, secretary, treasurer, and your foundation chair, which is one of our directors, not listed as a foundation chair on this document, but they'll ask for your foundation chair. And there's 5 there. They ask for
Membership chair.
and membership. Yes, thank you. And that is, again, in our case, is one of our directors. I just have to make sure I put the right name in. I'll do that. But no, member data populates back and forth, but not officers. So good question. Very good question. What are other things we need to look at in Club Runner that have been questions for y'all? Or now, if your club does not subscribe to Club Runner, you don't pay for a package, if you will, you won't have access to all these things, of course, but you still need to go into it to enter your new members. That's how the district is able to keep up with the new members. And you need to terminate people who are no longer members. That's how you get them off. Your district also is generating dues, invoices based upon the numbers that they're seeing in this source. So you need to make sure you're keeping up to date, and that you know, we had a club not too long ago that had not been done for 2 or 3 years. So it was a real problem to get back up to date with members that had not been taken out and members who had not been added in. So you want to make sure you do that. Even if you don't subscribe to Club Runner, you should have a login and a password also for Club Runner. I could go into the district site and show you that if we need to, but any other questions here that are pertinent to Club Runner, and then we can just open up the floor for questions. If you subscribe to Club Runner, that's how we do our bulletin now. It's an electronic bulletin. It goes out once a week. There's no printing and there's no postage cost because we do it all through electronic. And I do it through Club Runner. It's not a laid out exact PDF kind of document. Page breaks are not where you want them to be sometimes, but it's a good piece to do, and it costs nothing other than the cost to be a Club Runner subscriber. Oh, I was going to show you about this key, ORI integration. At any point, you can go to ORI integration, and this is where you can, sorry, I have to move pictures again, compare and synchronize. And what it does is takes the roles for your club and it starts an immediate synchronization with the international roles. And it looks for where the differences are, where the problems are, and it comes up and it tells you the member name mismatches so that you can go in and you know, there's some I know are a mismatch. His name really is Floyd Bill Allen. He goes by Bill, so that's his name in Club Runner. That's how he wanted it to be. Not his name at International is Floyd W, I think it is, Floyd William Allen. But the key there was we matched up the member ID. He moved to Beaumont from Arizona, New Mexico, somewhere. But we were able to track him and get his member ID, and that's why he has a different looking number than the rest of us, where most of my club is 4s and what have you. But all these people, for some reason, have a slight name difference that they wanted on club roles versus international roles. So that's where we have the differences. It'll also tell you if they have member type mismatches. I just today removed this gentleman from our roles. That's why he's not yet synced with ORI. He's not, no, he's still listed as a member there, but as of today, he was not a member. And then numbers that are missing in ORI. I'm glad I did this. So I see what I need to look at tomorrow. I need to figure out why this number didn't come over into Club Runner from International. And, oh, no, this is vice versa. They're in Club Runner, not in International. I need to figure that one out. And these came over from International, but not, oh, look here, same people. I've got some work to do tomorrow to figure this out. But that's where you have a constant where you can stop and check, see what you're doing, and be able to synchronize your records, fix
So
things.
Jackie, it's not important to make a match?
Yes, it is important to make a match. Those two that were showing were not matched. I need to go in tomorrow and make sure that I make those changes, or call the RI office and make sure that they help make the changes. But yes, it is very important.
But the ones up at the top where it's Bill Smith and then Bill Smith Jr., same guy, that's not necessary to change.
Not necessary to change. As long as their number is the same, then any of them can find it, look at it and see where the difference is.
Okay, thank you.
That depends how they if they would get a Paul Harris Fellow or one of those that they pull from the RI rolls, it may be slightly a different name, more formal name or what have you that they use from there versus our club. Okay, so you can sync your execs the same way. I just put in Diane Bass, you saw, and it's gonna sync those up, start date, end date. I think they do their syncs in the middle of the night. You can run a report on which of your members is missing ID if you're just worried about that. They check the 2 records, and it's amazing how fast it is. And we're a very large club, so it's really quite amazing to me that it can sync that quickly and you can have a report and know what to do with it. Other questions about Club Runner? I will be happy to come visit with your club. I know one person contacted me just this week saying that they were considering whether they want to subscribe to Club Runner. I don't get no commission. I have no real interest in the fact other than it helps us communicate better. If everybody is on Club Runner, then your members get used to seeing those emails coming from that address and they get used to the communication. And so it's very, very helpful.
Jackie, a question from Galveston. Were you going to talk about the mobile app?
Yes, I can talk about the mobile app. I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna show you the mobile app on my phone because it's a little more detailed on there. When you first pull up the mobile, can y'all see that?
You gotta undo the screen share.
I do.
Yes, because we're only looking at your computer screen.
Okay,
We can't
good.
see your phone.
Can you see my phone now?
You
This
bet.
is-
So for those of you that cannot see her phone, you need to go up to the top of your screen, and where it says gallery view, change it to speaker view. And then Jackie will start talking and it will bring her to the screen.
Like now.
Okay.
You may not be able to see detail, but I just want to show you in fact how handy it is. This is how mine is said. It comes up first with the list of members, and each member is shown there their little tiny picture icon, their name, and there's a phone symbol. So you can click on somebody and it brings up their data then, their business address, their email, first of all 3 phones listed for this person: home, business, cell, their email address, their business address, their home address, and their personal information, which is their title, birthday, and whatever is included on this little phone screen. So then if I want to call this person, I have the little phone icon and can call them immediately, or it brings up a sub menu that says, do you want to call or text? And you can actually text them from your phone while you're, I know not while you're driving, but you can call while you're driving, you can call, you can just punch their phone number. There are other things then on the app over in this, if you can see there's little bars on the left-hand side, and it opens and you can have other things from your Club Runner, from the pages we were just looking at. You can have them listed here, some stories for the week. I put some of our newsletter articles on there, like who's at the head table and what are the calendar events for the week. So you can have little icons that you have those things available for members to look at as reference on their screen. There's the same is true for club events and club stories. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, there's the district menu. The district menu is on here, where you can do the same thing with district executives that you need to find, and you need to call someone, or you need to check and see if your information is correct on here. this is a place you can do that and pull up district executives or whatever chair you need to find and talk to. The app is tremendously helpful, and I can't say enough about it. It is free with Club Runner. I was looking into, before they came out with this, was looking into having somebody do a club app for us, and it was going to be several $100s to have it, maybe more than that, to have it brought up and developed, and then to maintain it would have been tremendously more. And this is part of your Club Runner package. Honestly, I'm not selling for them. I get no commission, but I have to tell you, that was the big feature that really put me on the other side of this, whether we should have Club Runner or another service, was when they came out with the app that made it much more usable than I was sold. So,
Hey, Jackie,
yes.
I've been using the club events portal for RSVPs for our meetings coming up. And our younger members that are on the go use their phones to tell me whether or not they're coming to the meetings.
And that's tremendously helpful right now when we get back to our special meetings with meals and things. Yeah. So yes, you can, all the features of Club Runner can be fed to this in one way or another. Your events and registering for events comes very handy. And of course, we know we all keep our phone in our hands all the time. So,
Jackie, I have a comment just about Club Runner in general. And I have found, and Ava has too, as we send out training information, that we get lots of responses from people in the district. And most of the time they're very polite, and sometimes they're not very Rotarian-like. But part of it is we get responses back that say things like, my name is spelled wrong in this email. And then I'm reminding you all as secretaries to remind your club members to go check their profiles and update things, because it wasn't me that put their name in there. It was whatever in Club Runner. So if somebody mistyped your name or you misspelled your own name, you are the only person that can correct that. So reminding your members to do that. And then the other part is too, I'll have members tell us, or what we thought were members, and they would say, I haven't been in that club in 4 months, which says to me the secretary and the president have not gone in and terminated them and let RI know that. And so the club is still paying dues on them, which is why they are still listed in Club Runner.
yes, and it may not be that the president and the secretary even knew to terminate the person, but because yes, I had one recently say, oh, I left in December, and it's like, oh, you didn't leave in December. No. So yeah, we've all got to play a part in that. This doesn't happen by magic. Somebody's got to input it. But yes, the Club Runner data is just like it's inputted. If you transpose 2 numbers in the cell phone or whatever, you got to go in and fix it. And it's a constant fix and change and repair. That's not just a Club Runner issue. That's whatever service you're using. So.
Other questions for Jackie this evening?
Or comments or good information.
Thank you, Jackie.
Did we answer everything for you, James?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah. Thank you.
Dean Stanley, I think you said a moment ago, maybe about 40 minutes ago, he is my great mentor, guys, who gave me my first diploma at Stephen F. Austin. I think he said he knew the best secretary, but I think on this call and Zoom, because of your dedication and unselfish commitment, Jackie, you probably are the best secretary. I don't even think we could say
Totally agree.
We know you.
Totally agree. Oh, yeah.
You're too kind. Too kind. I'm just a handy person.
Yes.
Demetrius, I didn't give you anything. You earned it all.
Oh, I know. Well, bless you.
Right. If there are no other questions, I will say, Jackie, thank you for being first. You're a hard act to follow. Ava and I were a little nervous now having to go behind you on Thursday night. So if y'all are joining us again, we're not as good as Jackie. So just
stop. Stop. If anybody has a question you want me to call you privately or whatever, get in that chat real quick, and I'll do that tomorrow when I read back through all this.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about that RI integration, and I've been in Club Runner forever, and I am in our Club Runner, and we've got 3 people that don't have membership numbers. Do I have to call RI to get that? How did that happen? They're fairly new members, but there's no membership number for them.
They probably have a membership number in RI. It just didn't come down for some reason. Didn't
Oh,
didn't
okay.
integrate. So
And
go to
I
RI.
need to call, I need to talk to them. Nope.
Just log
Just
in
look.
there and see if it's not shown on your roster.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, thank you.
And then you
Sorry.
can copy it and bring it
I'm
over.
following you, Jackie. Thank you very much. I got it.
Good.
I got it.
Well, it's good to see all of you anyway. Appreciate you taking part and being here. And you know, I'm near the phone most all the time, so you can call if you have questions. I'll be happy to help.
Thank you,
All
Jack.
right.
Thank you, Amy, for
Hey,
hosting
Leon.
us. It was great. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all
I stay
Thursday
on
night.
till the last person logs out. So it's just you. You're the only thing standing between me and my bed.
All right, let's
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
Okay. I
Good
guess
job,
I could-
Jackie.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like I jumped around a little bit, but not too bad, I guess.
No, I think it went really well. Good comments, good questions. We've recorded it. And so I will, well, I think I'm recording. I'm stopping the recording now. And then I'll try to, I guess, do I email it to you, the link?
Yes,